The moment I overheard her voice, something inside me broke. Not loudly, not with a crash, but quietly, like a crack spreading through thin ice. It was 2 months before our wedding, and I was in the kitchen, washing dishes, the kind of mundane task that makes you feel safe in your own life. The apartment was warm, filled with the soft hum of evening routine. My fiancée, Claire, was in the bedroom, her voice muffled but sharp through the half-open door. I wasn't trying to listen. I never did. But her tone was different, low, secretive, like she was guarding something fragile. "Yes, the wedding is still on," she said, her voice steady but laced with something I couldn't place. "But he has no idea about us." My hands froze in the soapy water. The plate I was holding slipped, clinking softly against the sink. I stood there, water dripping from my fingers, my heart suddenly too heavy for my chest. Us. The word hung in the air like smoke, impossible to ignore. I wanted to believe I'd misheard, that it was a friend, a joke, a misunderstanding. But her next words sealed it. "I'll see you tonight. Same place." I didn't move. I didn't breathe. The kitchen felt smaller, the walls closer, the air thinner. I knew, in that moment, that the life I'd built, the life I thought we were building together, was a lie. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed to know how deep the lie went, how far it stretched. And so, I began to watch, to listen, to unravel the truth she thought she'd hidden so well. Claire and I had been together for 3 years. We met at a bookstore of all places, reaching for the same psychology book on self-improvement. She laughed, said it was fate. I believed her. She was vibrant, sharp, the kind of person who made you feel like you were the only one in the room. We moved in together after a year, started planning a future. The wedding was her idea. She wanted a small ceremony, intimate, meaningful. I thought it was because she loved me. Now, I wasn't so sure. The signs were there, but I'd ignored them. The late nights at work. The way her phone was always face down, silent, like it was hiding something. The excuses, meetings, friends, errands that never quite added up. I'd told myself it was stress, wedding planning, her demanding job as a graphic designer. But after that phone call, I couldn't unsee the cracks. I started small. Her phone was locked, but our shared laptop wasn't. Late one night, while she slept, I checked her email. Nothing obvious, but there was a folder labeled Work Receipts. Odd, since she never saved receipts. Inside, I found screenshots of texts, hidden away like forgotten evidence. "Can't wait to see you," one read, from a contact named M. No last name, just an initial. My stomach twisted. Another, "He's clueless. Don't worry." I sat there, staring at the screen, feeling my pulse slow to something cold and mechanical. I didn't stop there. I checked our bank statements, small charges to a cafe I'd never heard of, always on Thursday nights, when she claimed to be working late. I tracked her phone's location history, a trick I'd learned from a tech friend. It showed her at that same cafe, week after week, when she'd told me she was at the office. I even found a parking ticket in her car, dated for a night she'd said she was with her sister. The address was a hotel downtown. Each piece of evidence was a cut, small but deliberate, slicing away the trust I'd clung to. I didn't rage, I didn't cry, I planned. I made copies, saved screenshots, built a file. I wasn't sure what I'd do with it yet, but I knew one thing. I wasn't going to let her lie to me anymore. The wedding was 6 weeks away when I decided to act. I could have confronted her at home, thrown the evidence in her face, watched her scramble for excuses. But that felt too small, too personal. I wanted her to feel the weight of her own lies, the way I had. So I waited. I let her think everything was fine. I smiled at her over breakfast, helped her pick out flowers, played the part of the clueless fiancé. Inside, I was counting down. I hired a private investigator not because I needed more proof, but because I wanted the truth to be undeniable. He was thorough, discreet, and worth every penny. Within a week, he had photos. Claire and a man I recognized, Mark, her co-worker, the one she'd introduced me to at a company party. He'd shaken my hand, smiled, asked about our wedding plans. Now, in the photos, he was holding her hand, kissing her outside that same cafe, laughing like they shared a secret the world wasn't allowed to know. The investigator also found texts, recovered from a cloud backup she hadn't thought to delete. "I love you, but we have to be careful," she'd written. "He's starting to ask questions." I read that one over and over, each time feeling a strange calm settle over me. Not anger, not any more. Just clarity. I chose the venue carefully. The rehearsal dinner. It was a small gathering, just family and close friends, at a restaurant we'd booked months ago. Claire was radiant, playing the perfect bride-to-be, laughing with her parents, squeezing my hand under the table. I waited until dessert, when everyone was relaxed, glasses clinking, voices warm with anticipation. Then I stood, tapping my spoon against my glass. The room went quiet. All eyes on me. "I have something to say," I began, my voice steady. Claire smiled up at me, expecting a toast. I pulled out my phone, connected it to the restaurant's projector, something I'd arranged with the manager earlier. A photo appeared on the screen. Claire and Mark, kissing outside the cafe. Gasps rippled through the room. Her smile froze, then shattered. "This is what I've been living with," I said, flipping to the next slide screenshots of their texts. "She said the wedding was still on. She said I had no idea about us." I let the words hang, heavy, as her parents stared, her friends whispered. Mark was there too, in the back, his face pale, eyes wide like a trapped animal. Claire tried to speak, her voice trembling. "It's not what it looks like," she said. But the words sounded hollow, desperate. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. The truth was loud enough. I walked out, leaving her to face the silence of her own making. The wedding was canceled the next day. Claire called me, left voicemails, sent texts begging for forgiveness. "It was a mistake," she said. "I love you." I didn't answer. I didn't need to hear her excuses, her tears. I'd heard enough lies. I moved out, cut contact, started rebuilding. The apartment felt empty without her, but it also felt clean. Like I'd scrubbed away something toxic. Months later, I got a letter. Handwritten, her careful cursive filling the page. She said she was sorry, that she'd lost herself, that she wanted a second chance. I read it once, then burned it. Not out of anger, but because I was done carrying her weight. I'd learned something in those months. Love doesn't lie. It doesn't hide. It doesn't whisper secrets behind closed doors. The truth didn't just unravel her life, it unraveled mine too. But in the breaking, I found something stronger. I started therapy, read those psychology books we used to laugh about, learned to trust my instincts. I wasn't the clueless fiancé anymore. I was someone who saw the world clearly, who knew that silence could be louder than screams. Revenge isn't what people think. It's not yelling or fighting or tearing someone down. It's walking away, letting the truth do the work. Claire's still out there, living with the echo of that night, the moment her lies caught up with her. And me? I'm free. I look in the mirror now and see someone who survived, who learned that love isn't a blind leap. It's a choice to keep your eyes open. Thanks for watching. If this story hit home, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that uncover the truth behind the lies. Stay strong, stay true, and I'll see you in the next one.